And welcome back to the ModSauce server. There's been a lot of things going on. As you can see, there's been a few changes in here. And it's starting to get kind of cramped. So I'm definitely looking to move, to get out of this hole in the wall and get into the house. Of course, that's going to mean getting a little bit more of the house finished in order to do that. But anyway, when last you saw, I had cells from sheep and cells from cows. And I have since been hunting up all kinds of cells. I've got zombie cells. I've got chicken cells. I got spider cells and skeleton cells. I even have creeper cells. That was fun. Squid cells, blue slime cells, iron golem cells, enderman cells of all things. And in all of that, I never found one bat. I spent the better part of a day and a half doing this bit with finding mobs and scraping cells and so on, and taking them in here and processing them in all these machines. Well, mostly just in this machine, the DNA analyzer. And let's see, I've got some in here right now. Cells of a skeleton, cells of a blaze. I even got a hold of a blaze. That one cost me about 3 deaths, and this big blaze spawner off that way someplace. I swear I'd never seen a blaze that had, well, you know how you, well, okay, up here in the upper left corner, that overlay that comes up when you're facing a mob, and it tells you its hit points, its maximum, and how many it has now. That blaze had 300. 300. I mean, you could beat on that thing all day and it's not going to die. I don't know what the heck that was all about, but I've got one of its cells. A couple of them, 3 of them, whatever. I got more creeper cells and more skeleton cells and zombie cells and so on. And then finally, just a couple of minutes ago, I got a whole bunch of skin cells of a bat. Finally. Now, yes, I fully realized that I could easily have gone to DMAC and had him provide me with the flight. But since this is my first time with the mod, as I've said before, I really did have this goofy little idea. I wanted to do it all myself so that I could have a better understanding of how the mod works and what to do with things and so on. So I finally got the bat cells, and I'm going to let those things process, and we'll get back to doing something to put together a genetic mix here that will be interesting. I'll go ahead and top the charcoal off there. All right, meanwhile, a lot of the time I spent processing this stuff, and I didn't always have a hopper feeding into a filing cabinet for handling the output. I didn't always have a filing cabinet on top of a hopper for the input. So I did a lot of back and forth. I did a lot of processing things and just let it go and so on. And so I decided last night, while I was waiting for stuff to process, that I was going to get some stuff done in Hermitcraft. And let's see, I have managed to get through a lot of the research. In fact, everything on this level. The thaumaturgy, not all of it, but a fair amount, and I probably could do most of the rest of this. The alchemy tab, I've got a lot done, and so on. The artificing tab, I have a fair amount done, and there's a lot more that I want to do, but I'm getting there. I haven't done anything with the golemancy stuff. The thaumic tinkering as well, I haven't done anything with, and that speaks a lot of promise there because of, you know, you take Thaumcraft and combine it with Tinker's Construct, and you've got some interesting possibilities there, and I have no idea what that is, but there's nothing on this page. Anyway, so I've got a bunch of stuff done, and I have the goggles of revealing, and of course the thermometer. And one of the things I've been doing is flying around, scanning things. I have been finding and scanning aura nodes, and that's one of the reasons I have so many of these aspects in the research table, is because of all that scanning I've done. Right now, I'm kind of wondering if I break this table to move it, am I going to lose the aspects that I've got in it? I don't know. A couple of versions ago, I would have said no, but now, I don't know. There's been a lot of changes. So what I'm probably going to do is I'll just make another one over at the house. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. I need to get over there anyway, so make up a few more slabs. It's probably more than I need. Yeah. Okay. Writing supplies. Here we go. Okay. All right. Let's just head over there. I need to bring that. All right. Let's head over to the house. And all goes well, we'll have some good, fast, creative style flying, and I'll be able to put these jetpacks away. You know, I'll keep them around and I'll keep them charged, because you never know when you're going to need something like that as a backup, because the genetic thing only lasts until you die. And yes, I do know to keep backup syringes of blood with all the effects on it that I want. All right, let's go ahead and let me get some stone brick. Where's my stone brick? There's my stone brick. All right, I'm going to stone brick the floor in here. And this is going to grow up to be the Thermitcraft research room. Because I'm going to have the research table in here. There will be the Thermic crafting table. Be one of those in there. And some bookcases, things like that. Just simply to make it complete. So we'll just drop this here and drop that there. Put the scribing tools there in the corner. Okay. Alright, I got all my aspects. So it's not saved with the table, it's saved with the player, obviously. Okay, that was a kind of a dumb moment on my part, but I was kind of sort of concerned-ish about that, because after having done all of that to acquire all of that, I didn't want to risk losing any of it. It took quite a bit of time. So we'll just drop a white wall in here. And something like that. There, and we'll fill the rest of that in with glass. And here, the room here, this room here, which is only not enclosed, I've decided to redesign the house. I'm going to take this down that way a ways, and that wall's going to go out that way a ways more, basically because I want the whole thaumatorium thing in this room here. And so, you know, that's where the big Oh, the infusion crafting stuff and whatnot. That's where that's going to happen, is in there. And I want it to be roomy. I want there to be plenty of room for everything that I'm going to do in there. Room to move around freely without getting cramped and crowded and so on. So that's what that's going to be. Okay. All right, so we're good there. I do need to figure out just exactly how long I need to go this way, how far I need to go that way. I need to import some dirt to level out the ground here. And there's a bunch more of this bamboo that's going to come down. Although I've noticed, break something right next to it and it comes down. It's very fragile. So I guess that won't be a problem. Or how about this? Place something next to it. It breaks, down it comes. So if I'm looking for bamboo, it's going to be real easy to collect. Plant a torch next to it and it will come down. All right. And now for the next thing. And we're back. And a lot of other things aren't. All the genetic machines are moved out of here. The smeltery has been moved. And a lot of the other stuff has been moved. And I've just come back here this trip with a filing cabinet. And I'm going to take all of this stuff and start dropping it into the filing cabinet so that I can move all of these cells over to where the hardware is. Naturally, that's going to take a little while, but once I get that taken care of, I can start actually processing these cells into what hopefully will be the ability to gain their abilities. So I'm going to finish getting this stuff moved over. And so I'm going to start getting this, I'm going to finish getting this stuff moved over. And then I'll meet you at the house where we've got all the goodies set up. All right, here we are back at the house. You can see I've put a roof texture on it. And let's see. Okay, we've got our machines hooked up here. And the DNA extractor, I got a hopper on top of it. Got all of this filing cabinet with all this stuff here. I'm going to set that down a second. And there we go. Get all of these out of here. And drop them in there so that they're all in the same place. Finally did get cells of a bat. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it was a real time-consuming adventure. But I finally got them. And from the way I've observed how these filing cabinets work, the contents are arranged alphabetically. So the bat cells will be the first one processed. Okay, break this down. I'm going to put it up here on top of this hopper. Okay, we got cells going in here, things going into the extractor, and then from the extractor, it should automatically go into the decryptor because I've set up I put an auto output upgrade on them. Decryptor will go down in here into the splitter. Choose the gene. Basic gene is the only choice, so we'll take it. And yeah, I could use the auto splitter, but at this stage of the game, I want to use the manually operated one. I know that's going to slow things down because I'll have to stand here and click a choice for each one, but that's all right for now. Okay, maybe I need to put an auto output on this. Okay, choose the gene. Okay, let's take resistance. Let me have a look over here, see if I have an auto output upgrade. I do. Click that on. We're auto outputting now. Alright, basic gene. Well, that didn't auto output. Choose the gene, basic gene. Okay, let's see if it auto outputs now. It may need to output to the down, I don't know. I'm kind of assuming it will go to the right into the filing cabinet. Okay, another one for resistance. Okay, let's break that, and put this down. Choose resistance and see if it outputs that down. Because I didn't see anything to indicate, I don't recall seeing anything to indicate exactly which direction its output is supposed to go. Ah, auto output my hind end. Yeah. Yeah, it's not auto outputting at all, is it? Alright, let's break this one. Set it there. I may have to break this and replace it. As a matter of fact, let's do that if this one doesn't go right. Yeah. And of course my upgrade goes into the other room. And here's where the smeltery lives now. Now, this is not always going to look this ugly. Once I've got the machines arranged there and set up the way I want, and I've got the power lines going to everything, this row right here, this outer face on the inside, will be all white stone brick. And all of this cobblestone will be replaced with white stone brick. Okay, splitter. Choose resistance. Oh, wait a minute. Now, do we get auto right? Okay, we have an extra helix here. Let's just drop it in there. Get it dealt with later. And this thing is not auto outputting. So I'm going to have to do this manually. As I didn't particularly want to. That in there. This basic gene, let's just go ahead and throw it in there. And I'll process it later. So I'm going to be taking quite a bit of time to do this. I might actually go ahead and make the auto splitter. Not thrilled about that because it's taking them from zombie. Oh boy, yeah, it could take a while to get to the bats. Okay, meanwhile, this room over here, originally I had set it up, it was going to be the Thaumcraft Research Center, where all the Thaumcraft research and the stuff that could be done on the arcane workbench would be done. And then in here, I was going to have the big thaumatorium, the great big infusion crafting setup, and essentia smelting and distilling and so on and so forth. But when the pack updates to 1.7.10, as things stand right now, Thaumcraft will not be ready, and therefore will not be included at the time, which is going to make all that stuff go away. So I'm going to quit with the Thaumcraft on here for right now. And instead, I will probably use this room for a blood magic setup. And I'll think of something to do in here. Well, at least we're getting a few good ones. The resistance, and of course basic genes are needed as well in the combiner phase, or the breeder. The breeder is going to need basic genes to help fill out a gene. So that's fine too. Anyway, I've got a lot of DNA to split, so I'm going to get busy about that, and we'll see what happens next. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'm out.